Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. You join me here in my home office where I'm going to talk settings. I've had a few questions recently come through on a couple of videos that I've uploaded recently asking what settings and what lenses I've used. So I thought I would sit down today and try to the best of my ability answer those questions. So the first question that I got was from a gentleman named Paul Ayling, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, and he asked me what lens did I use in this video. Now that video in question is the video that I uploaded called Inspiration. So to answer your question there, the lens that I used for that entire thing, everything was shot on the same lens, which was my Lumix 25mm f1.7, which is this little tiny lens right here. It's for my camera, which is the Lumix GH5, which is a micro four thirds lens. That entire sequence was shot on this lens. Question number one out the way. Hopefully it answers your question. The next question I got was from Leo asking what settings did I use. So the settings that I used were a mix of both 24 and 50 frames. So for a majority of it was shot at 25 frames, was shot at 25 frames per second in 4K. That's purely because there was nothing really slow motion wise that I wanted to slow down for it. Shot at 25 frames on my GH5. When you're shooting things like your 25, 50, 120, whatever it might be, obviously you need to double your frame rate. Fortunately for me, what the Lumix GH5 allows me to do is change my shutter speed to shutter angle, which then gives me the 180 degree rule constantly throughout. So no matter what frame rate I'm at, I get the smoothest image that the camera allows me to capture. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit about frame rates. Again, ISO, you want to kind of keep it at the native ISO if you can. Obviously in darker scenes you might need to boost that ISO up a little bit, but generally keeping it at the native ISO will give you the best looking image. So for me, I shot everything in the Cine D profile, and I found the best ISO for that, for me personally, is around 400. So which obviously sounds quite high, 400 ISO, aperture set at f1.7, so you're going to get tons and tons of light coming in and hitting that sensor. So you need an ND filter on the front of your lens, whether it's just a standard, 1-2 stop ND or a variable ND like I use on the front of my camera, which effectively is sunglasses for your lens really. Just helps you balance out that exposure, so you're not peaking your highlights or crushing your blacks too much. So yeah, that's that. So hopefully that answers your question. First up is the kitchen. Me standing in front of the kitchen window with the sun rays coming through and everything, the light beams, and what I used my vaporizer. That was it. I don't have a fog machine or anything like that. I just literally stood there, had a few puffs on my vaporizer, just sort of blew it towards the window, and then when the sun shined through it gave me these really cool light rays. So I was like, yeah, why not, let's do that. But the way I lit that and framed it all, so I framed it so that I have the window within the frame. So it's a frame within a frame. Obviously at the start you're seeing the window, the bright sky outside. I walk in, fill the frame dead center, which then emphasizes me being the main character and the subject in that shot. Now what I did to lift the shadows a little bit was use my Godox reflector set up on the kitchen side to reflect some of that sunlight coming through the window onto my back, just to bring up those shadows a bit more and get some more detail within my shirt that I was wearing. Otherwise it would have just been completely crushed and black, and it wouldn't have looked very good. You'd be able to pull it off, but it just, there wouldn't be any detail there. So using the reflector to bounce that light back onto me, even it's not a dramatic light source, but it was enough to bring those shadows up, just to bring out some detail in my shirt that I was wearing. The next shot was on location, so where I went to was it's a nice little spot that I enjoy going to. There's some really cool old looking like shipwrecked boats there. It's just a really cool place to just go and sit and sort of clear your head a little bit. So I thought, well, why not go there, take my little notebook and sit down and just write a few ideas down, which is what I done. Yeah, so hopefully that's a little insight for you on, you know, the camera settings that I use and, you know, what I look for when it comes to, you know, filming as such and creating video. Yeah, hopefully it helps. We'll see. Alright, bye bye.